Hey freediving family, on this trip down south, Dan and I have been doing a lot of foraging for food in the ocean, catching lobster, catching abalone, catching mussels. This little foraging journey all started when we went lobster diving in Jervis Bay with Harry Lindley. Good afternoon freediving family, I'm here with Harry Lindley and he is taking us to his very special cray spot, his very special lobster spot. I've never looked for lobsters in a spot quite like this with so much seaweed, but that's why this place is absolutely perfect for them. It's an area where sand meets a whole bunch of little rocky boulders with seaweed covering the entire area, so it is perfect for lobsters. There are thousands of little places where they can hide. But did I find any lobsters? No, I found urchins. Urchins everywhere. Urchin, urchin, urchin. Then we all got really excited because Harry found a nest of lobsters and he pulled 2 of them out. So I got all fired up and I started running around the reef looking for lobsters everywhere. I don't get competitive at all. I mean, I only compete for a living. There was quite a bit of surge moving back and forward and all that sand was just blowing around everywhere and it made it really hard to spot anything. But then I stuck my head into this little hole and I saw a nest of 4 or 5 really good sized lobsters all hanging out together. So I swim back down and I go to look for that hole that I just found, and for the life of me I could not find it. There was so much sand, so much seaweed moving back and forth, I couldn't even pinpoint the place where I had just been. It's impossible to keep track of it! I was pretty disheartened, but then luckily on my very next dive down, I found something quite nice.
Baby, that's a good size.
It was time for Dan to really have a crack. It was time for Dan to wrestle a lobster out of a hole. I swam around with Dan with the last of the light, but he did not see anything, unfortunately. So I only ended up getting the 1 cray. It was like nuts in there. Like there was so much swell and surge that you'd go down and you'd get thrown around through the seaweed, and if you found some crays, you had to grab them straight away because there was no chance to go back to the surface, breathe a little bit, get ready and go down again, because you'd never find the same crack again. You just never find those crays again. So I only ended up getting the 1. But there you go, that is mine and Dan's dinner tonight. You know, we'll have to cook up some potatoes and veggies with it, you know, otherwise it won't be much of a meal. But still, it's 1 good sized cray, so I'm pretty stoked with that. In Narooma, we went to dive with the seals on Montague Island. After the dive, we went around to the back of the island though to look for some crayfish, to look for some lobster. Alright, so we have ducked around to the other side of Montague Island and we're gonna look for some crayfish. We're gonna probably have a bit of a spear, just see what's going on in the area. In the bay that we started diving, there were all these cracks running through the rocks and I was like, oh, here we go, this is gonna be Cray City. But it was mostly just Urchin City, really.
Find a cray. Where was it?
I kept looking in all the cracks in the area but didn't see any other crays that were of a legal size. So instead I took my gun in the water and shot myself a few little mowong. This is a bronze mowong and it's actually the first time I've ever shot one. Just south of Narooma is a place called Mystery Bay. Dan and I stopped here to have a fun dive on the way down south, and let's say we were very pleasantly surprised by what we found in the water. We are in Mystery Bay. Now, in my humble opinion, Mystery Bay is the most beautiful beach on the planet. This is where I proposed to Erin many years ago when I was but a young man. Now Dan, I'm still a young man. Now Dan and I are gonna go for a little dive. We're just gonna go have a play. We might look for some abalone or some lobsters around in those rocks over there. But in general, we're just gonna get in the water because it's really, really beautiful here. Check how clear the water is. Time flies. Mystery Bay is filled with all these rock bommies that just stick out of the water in the middle of the beach. And the very first one that we came across was riddled with abalone. So we both got 2 abalone, and that's our bag limit. We couldn't take any more. Now it was time to start looking for crayfish. We got a little bit distracted in our search for cray. The truth is that Dan and I are not very good hunters, and we're easily distracted. This is something that you probably won't hear me say often, but the seaweed in Mystery Bay was stunning. I've never really found myself focusing on seaweed, but there were so many different types and varieties of beautiful seaweed all just interwoven together. It was really, really beautiful. Just so you know, I had been meaning to repair the hole in the arse of my wetsuit for a long time, but never quite got around to it. Eventually, we did get back to the job of looking for crayfish. But we didn't find anything in the bay, and so we just played around with a few critters and then went back into shore. Wow, that was nuts. I had no idea there were going to be so many abalone around. We're just going for a little play, a little swim, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, look at all these abalone!
Everywhere. Abs everywhere.
So we decided that we'll hop back in the water and maybe look for some crays again, because it just feels like there's so much going on here. So that's what we're going to go do now. We had been told that the South Headland was where we could expect to find all the crayfish, so we got back in the water to explore the rocky area around that headland. As soon as I shined my torch on this crayfish, it backed away and I couldn't get my arm deep enough in the hole to get it.
I had one. Oh, you did? Yeah, and then he broke off. And then he like came at me and I was like, ah! Deception lost on me. Their eyes were the ones to see.
As we headed around the side of the headland, the swell really started to pick up and we were just getting smashed on the rocks. We were both wearing really thick wetsuits though, so it was just fun. It was fun getting thrown around. Look what my GoPro found as I was hanging onto a rock.
Every time I opened up, how'd you go? Saw a few of them, but they were like too deep in the hole. I couldn't get down there, and but that was really fun. Some would say they were deep in the crayfishes.
So this is the lobster that I caught the other day in Jervis Bay. So we're gonna cook him up today, and then we're also gonna cook up the lobster that Dan caught today. This is Dan's first lobster. He spotted it on his own and he caught it on his own. I basically just tailed this lobster, so I've just cut out all that tail meat because the tail is where all the meat is anyway. So here is actually some of the abalone that we caught. So we've had it sitting in some milk for the past maybe 6 or 7 hours. When you let these things sit in milk, they become really, really tender because otherwise they're gonna be really tough. So I'm basically gonna just take these out. I'm just gonna slice them up. Abalone slices. You know, about like, oh, I've done a bad job there, but you know, just pretend I did a really good job and it's like 1/2 centimetre thick. The abalone is all sliced up. I've tailed both of the lobsters. So we're gonna garlic butter lobster. We're gonna have schnitzel abalone. And then I've got some bronze and banded mowong, which I'm gonna cook up with garlic and butter as well.
Who'd have thought Adam Stern cooking me dinner? I'll be on the lounge.
Here goes a whole bunch of lobster. In we go, mixing it up nice and fast. It'll cook really quickly. I just want to get as much butter and garlic all over it as possible. We've got our crumbed abalone here. We're gonna have abalone schnitzel. Abalone schnitzel, garlic, butter, crayfish. Here we go. Woo! Men can multitask, I tell you what. Oh, I dropped a little bit on the floor. You didn't see that? Goes back in.
Goes back in.
Mix it. Ow! The pan's at me. Oh yeah, look at that. That's gonna be delicious. Banded morwong on. I left the skin on both of these fillets, so when I'm chucking them in the pan fry, the skin's all crinkled up, and then you see the fish like curled in on itself. Still gonna be delicious, but just curly. Yes?
Cracked pepper?
Oh yes, cracked pepper for sure. Yeah, I'll bring it. So here we have banded and bronze morwong that's just been pan fried with butter. And then we have this lobster that's been pan fried with garlic and butter. And then we have this abalone, which has been breadcrumbed and fried.
So I'm going to start with the lobbies first, because
You caught it.
it's nice. It's good. It's really, really nice.
What about the abalone?
Abalone. I like it. I like it. It's a bit like nice chicken. Really good.
Bronze morwong.
Bronze morwong.
Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the day and the vlog and the video. Tomorrow we're going to be heading further south down towards a place called Eden, which is about as south as you can go in New South Wales before we hit the border to Victoria, which we are not allowed to cross. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the water somewhere. Next week, Dan and I dive the Sapphire Coast. We use a drone to locate a shipwreck, then dive it, and then our friends from Dive Eden take us around to see the local sites, and I find my very first weedy sea dragon. It's going to be good. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe by pressing this little circular thing down here.
Also, check out this video.
Or you might want to check out this video because you might like it too.